Hello Tweedledees and Tweedledudes, Miss Norris here to talk to you today about shape patterns. So, grab a parent, grab a snack, and let's get started.
Really? Shape patterns? You've got to be kidding me.
I know, you've passed kindergarten already, so I'm sure this video will be a review for you.
But this is not your little brother's shape pattern lesson. Ha 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 ha!
That escalated quickly.
What is a pattern? A pattern is an arrangement of terms such as numbers, shapes, and colors that repeat. What is a term? Oh, no problem. Let me go over that real quick. A term is just a fancy schmancy math word for any sort of number, shape, or color inside of a pattern. So for example, this is a term, this is a term, this is a term, and this is a term. Got it? Awesome. Let's keep going. So let's look at some really simple patterns to start with. An example of a number pattern could be 4, 2, 4, 2. What do you think comes next? Did you say 4? Awesome. An example of a shape pattern could be triangle, square, triangle, square. What do you think comes next? Did you say triangle? Awesome. An example of a color pattern would be red, green, blue, red, green, blue. What term do you think comes next? Did you say red? Awesome. Pretty simple, huh? I think you guys have got it. Join us on the next one when... Ha! Just kidding.
We've only just begun.
So, something really important that you need to know about patterns is that all patterns have rules. Rules. The rule of a pattern is just a relationship between the terms. Sometimes we get lucky and they tell us what rule to follow to create a pattern, but that's really boring. It's way more fun to be given a pattern and try to figure out what the rule or rules actually are. Oh, yeah. By the way, the fun part is there can be more than one rule. How exciting.
Stop it. Get some help.
Okay, so let me explain this using those really simple patterns that we saw earlier. In the number pattern 42424, there are a few different rules and relationships that are going on in this pattern. Let's look at the numbers a little closer. How are we getting from one number to the next? What math operations could we actually apply to each term to get the next one? Well, let's look at the first two terms, 4 and 2. Could we take 4 and subtract 2 to get 2? Yes? All right. Now, how could we get from this 2 to this 4? Could we add 2? Yes? Okay. So let's look at our pattern and figure out if this rule is going to apply. So, could I go from the first term and say minus 2 plus 2 minus 2 plus 2 and get all the numbers in this pattern? Yes? Awesome, you just found a rule for this pattern. Wait. I think I see another rule. Other than just adding and subtracting, what other operation do you see going on here? If I were to take 4 and divide it by 2, would I still get 2? And then if I took that 2 and I multiplied it by 2, would I still get 4? So could I also say the relationship here, or the rule, is divide 2, multiply by 2, divide 2, multiply by 2? Awesome! We just found 2 rules for the same pattern. The rules for a color pattern are a little simpler. All we have to figure out with a color pattern is how and when to repeat the colors. So in the pattern from earlier, red, green, blue, we know that we can repeat the colors red, green, blue after the color blue. So we know that the pattern will be red, green, blue, and then red, green, blue again. Easy as pie. The rule for a shape pattern, however, could be to figure out how and when to repeat a shape, or to see if there's a relationship between one term to the next, and then to the next, and see how it changes. So the rule for this pattern is triangle, square, and then it repeats itself. But let's look at a shape pattern that doesn't alternate. This is a shape pattern that changes and grows. Look at the first term of this pattern. It's a circle all by itself. We could say that this is one row and one column of a circle. The next term in this pattern has 2 rows and 2 columns, still made up of circles but creating a square shape. The third term has 3 columns and 3 rows made of circles that still create a square shape. The fourth term in this pattern is made up of 4 rows and 4 columns of circles but still create a square shape. It appears that every new term grows by 1 column and 1 row of circles. Can you see that? So we could assume that the next term in this pattern would have how many rows and how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you say 5? Awesome! The next term in this pattern would have 5 rows and 5 columns of circles still in a square shape. Let's look at some more shape patterns that are a little more difficult. Let's look at what we've got so far. The first term here is made up of a trapezoid and 1 upside down triangle. Can you see it? The next shape in our pattern is made up of a trapezoid and 3 triangles, alternating from upside down, right side up, and upside down again. Now let's look at the next shape in our pattern. Again, we have a trapezoid with 1 green triangle upside down. And if you notice, the pattern starts to repeat itself. What do you think the next term in this pattern would look like? If you have a piece of paper or a dry erase board, you may want to pause this video, grab it, and see if you can draw what you think comes next. Did you draw a trapezoid with 1 green upside down triangle? Awesome! Okay, let's look at another shape pattern. Hey, polygons! Long time no see! Okay, let's see if you can figure out what shape is missing from this pattern. First, we have a triangle. Then we have our missing polygon. Then we have a pentagon, a hexagon, and then a heptagon. I really want you to pay attention to the number of sides. Do you see a pattern or a pattern rule? What is the missing polygon in this pattern? You can pause this video real quickly and draw what you think. Did you draw a quadrilateral? Awesome! And for those of you who have seen the other videos, what's a quadrilateral? Did you say a polygon with 4 sides and 4 angles? Yeah! You guys, I'm so proud. You remember? The rule here is that every polygon you draw should increase by 1 side every time. So if you notice, a triangle has 3 sides, quadrilateral has 4, a pentagon has 5, hexagon has 6, and a heptagon has 7 sides. Now let's see if we can take this a step further. What polygon do you think would come next? Did you say an octagon? Why? Because it has 8 sides? Awesome! There is no fooling you guys. So while we could describe this pattern with its shapes, we can also give it a number pattern. If you look, what we could say is that the first term here is 3. Well, that's because a triangle has 3 sides. So we could say that the rule is the first term is 3, add 1. Why are we adding 1? Well, because every time the polygon has 1 more side than the term before. Okay, let's look at one last pattern for today. Can you describe the rule for this pattern? Did you say large circle, medium circle, small circle? Awesome! Okay, now's the time that I want you to try to draw the next 3 terms. Do you think you're gonna be able to do that? I know you can. Pause this video and draw the next 3 terms. Does your answer look something like this? Awesome! After this video, I want to challenge you guys to create your own shape pattern. Draw them for your family and see if they can figure out the rule to your pattern. Bonus points if you can create a pattern with more than 1 rule. Here's a hint. Bring in some color. I think you guys have got it. Join me on the next one when we talk all about measuring angles. Bye guys.